Well, hi there, everyone. It's an MLB, it's a baseball algorithm update for Monday, May 16th, 2022. Let's quickly go over yesterday. Pretty good day yesterday. 2022 pitching stats worked out pretty well. Big games that we discussed yesterday winning, especially the big three that we talked about. There was Houston, the Yankees, and Milwaukee, I believe, were the big three that were consistent when looking at both years' pitching stats. They all won, and they covered as well. Houston with a big 8-0 win against the struggling Washington Nationals here. So, fairly good day, I'd have to say. And max profitability, which is what we're looking at here. If you made straight bets on all these teams going down, we're measuring a profit and a total ROI over here. And I like to isolate the maximum profit amount, meaning how far down on this list would you have needed to go to have the maximum profit? It's right here. Obviously, if you got these 5 games, and the Mets might have actually been above Milwaukee in one of the scenarios yesterday. So it's somewhere around this area with like 67% total ROI. So that's pretty good for yesterday. Let's talk about today. To refresh this. Any scores? So for today's games, right now, we're just looking at 2022 stats. And I tried to run simulations for 2021 on everybody, but a lot of these pitchers didn't pitch last year, like Saravino pitched a few years ago. So it doesn't always work. So we'll just look at 2022 here and see if there's anything we want to adjust. Any ridiculously high ERAs that maybe we want to change. Here we've got Aaron Sanchez with a very high ERA of 7.58. Last year's a little more reasonable, so it's probably a better idea to go with that. Also, you have Wade Miley on the Cubs with a 9 ERA and only 3 innings pitched. Did Wade Miley pitch last year for anybody? Let's find out. Wade Cincinnati was who he was with last year. So we are going to bring him into the Cubs now, and that should work. And it does. So he's, he's a better pitcher last year, 2021. So that actually raises this game for the Cubs, doesn't it? How about that? So that's really a conflict game right there. I wouldn't trust that at all because you don't know how well Wade Miley's going to pitch. And also Bryce Wilson's ERA is also terrible this year. It wasn't great last year either, so watch out in this game. All right, so let's take a look. I think that's all the major high areas. What about John Gray, perhaps? Bring him down a little bit. Anybody else? This Trevor Williams on the Mets. Mets suffering a lot of injuries lately. We could switch that. That's probably pretty good. Of course, you can purchase a copy of this and do this yourself so that you're not relying on what you see in the video because lineups need to be updated as well throughout the day. All these games are late today. So what do we have here? Well, we've got Angels. Is Syndergaard actually going? They keep naming him, and sometimes he doesn't pitch, so I would definitely double-check to make sure he's the starter here. Dodgers, big favorite over Arizona. Arizona has been spoiling teams a lot this season, though, but that's a bad line. Then we have some underdogs. Oakland, St. Louis over the Mets with that pitching matchup. Here's the Yankees game with Saravino going against Baltimore. Then you have San Francisco over Colorado, and our margins start to drop below 10%. So closer games. Does say Angels over Texas is the number 1 pick. Let's double check that. Yeah, Syndergaard's 3-1. We're using those 2021 or 2022 stats for John Gray. It doesn't matter. It's actually more in favor of the Angels if you use current season stats there as well. So, if you do one thing, it says take the Angels at a pretty reasonable line. Then we have just a slew of underdogs. Seattle, Kansas City. Houston is an underdog against Boston today. That's surprising. And there's that St. Louis Mets game in Oakland, Minnesota. So, good luck, everybody. May all your picks be winning.